We're now entering our second year of COVID-19, and with all of the shutdowns during the pandemic, it has caused a lot of the viruses have changed a lot of plans. Here to discuss some of those lessons learned over the past year is Taz Rajan, Community Engagement Partner for Bromwich+Smith. Welcome, Taz. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you, Mark?
I'm good. So what are some of those lessons that Canadians have learned about debt management since the pandemic?
Yeah, in our survey, there were some key findings. And, the overarching idea is that, we are in this together. So, really, we've seen less stigma around Canadians who are overwhelmed by debt. One of the questions we asked is, do you support or oppose debt forgiveness for the following expenses? And the one that generated the most compassion was critical illness. So, 80% of Canadians supported debt forgiveness for that. Death of a spouse, 72% of Canadians, and job loss, 63% of Canadians supported debt forgiveness for these reasons. So you can see one lesson we've learned for sure is more empathy towards debt forgiveness.
Yeah, that's a great shift in attitude too, and some of the attitudes as well. And what else are you seeing? What are some of the other shifts that you're seeing too?
Yeah, definitely, a greater awareness around financial security. It's really encouraged us to examine our finances, our emergency fund, insurance, future planning, our preparedness, this idea of maybe living under our means, looking at increasing our income. The pandemic hit all countries and all sectors of work and businesses. So it's really enforced the importance of reevaluating and questioning our sense of security. And it's become a jumping off point, really, for building our own safety net. We understand that an emergency fund likely wouldn't have sustained an entire year of job loss through COVID. But now more than ever, we do understand the importance and the value of an emergency fund.
Yeah, and the pandemic certainly has put a monkey wrench in a lot of people's plans from last year and even to this year. So how are Canadians dealing with that?
We've seen Canadians put off a lot of major purchases, cut some spending. It's been a great time to reevaluate where our money goes. What are our needs and our wants? And it's created delayed gratification. Most people weren't able to take that family trip this year, for example. But what we've seen people do is reconnect to their hobbies, be more present with their immediate family, and find new ways to create connection in a virtual world. We're really seeing Canadians adapt.
Yeah. Debt also can be very overwhelming, regardless of a pandemic as well, like other issues of that. So what's one tip that people can stay to help people stay just ahead of their debt?
Yeah, absolutely. When you add in the pandemic on top of debt, it's super overwhelming. So one thing to really do is to lean in. Let's get our numbers, figure out where we're at. How much do I owe? To whom? What's the interest rate? And then we can figure out a plan of attack, how to tackle that debt.
Okay. Just one last question. What about people who, take a close look at their debts and then they realize it's just beyond their means to pay it off? What advice would you give them?
The first thing I would want Canadians to know is that you are not alone. That's the first thing. And the best thing to do is reach out for help with a financial expert. Get that fresh perspective, some clarity on your situation, your options, your next steps, so that you can make a really informed decision. When you contact someone like Bromwich+Smith, we understand the many reasons that lead to that overwhelming sense of debt and really want to empower and give that control back to Canadians to take charge on their debt.
Sounds like some great advice. Taz Rajan, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.